There you go. Wait for it now. Shut up.
All right. What's good? What's good? This is another live stream of Bite Down Boxing. I'm the host, RL Woodson or Just Wood. About to get in the live stream with the very special friend of the show, Mr. Joshua Greer Jr. out of Chicago. I'm gonna go ahead and bring my man in right now. What's good, man?
What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Just wanted to get you in here. I know you got a big fight coming up against an individual you've been chasing down for a minute. So and then it's a good pairing, I believe, with you and Shakur Stevenson. So I just wanted to get you in and chop it up a little bit.
Yeah.
What's the latest and greatest with you, man?
Same old, working hard, and I'm just looking to capture the moment. You know what I mean? It's, big things in line, and I'm just, ready to do my thing.
I know you've been in training camp and you've been staying busy and focusing on your game, but have you had a chance to check out this season 2 of The Shy?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I definitely, I watched that too. I like it, though. It's been good, and it's getting better and better.
So season 2, what stood out to you the most, man?
That it's just basically getting more, I would say, it's getting more realistic, kind of about Chicago with the, corruption and the gang violence and everything like that. So it's getting more realistic, which I like that it's, that it's being told and the story is getting out there.
Cool. Who would you say is which either which arc or which character would kind of be your favorite to follow on the show so far?
That brother, I forgot his name. The one that's like he's into politics and he's like the gang leader too and all that. What's his name?
Omar Perry.
Yeah, Mr. Perry. Yeah, because that's really how Chicago is. Like it's corrupt like that. So. That's definitely one of the most realistic characters.
You know what, man? I was getting ready. I'm kind of in the middle on him in terms of him being a bad guy because I've seen him in so many other roles, and it's kind of been a little different different, like accepting him as a crook. But like you just said, since he does play the businessman for the most part, and this, he's fronting, it kind of fits him. But I just found out that dude is from my home. I mean, he's from where I'm at. He's from here in Dayton, Ohio.
Oh wow, yeah, he's from the Midwest.
Yeah, I had to pull back any criticism I was gonna make on the brother. I found out, we'll get to the boxing stuff in just a minute, but I found out that the one cat that plays Reg, his name is Barton Fitzpatrick. He's actually from Chicago.
Oh yeah, I know. I seen him do a lot of things like on social media and stuff like that. So yeah, I seen him around a couple times.
Yeah, so I thought I caught him on the Breakfast Club the other day, and just thought that he was, a much different person, away from his character. So, and obviously he's become very popular on the show. Do you think he's gonna make it out of season 2 alive?
Yeah, because to me, you know how to kind of, maneuver and you know how to maneuver and kind of finesse his way a little bit. So I think he's gonna make it out. But if he keep being, under Perry, because Perry is he's a crook and he's a manipulator. So if he keep, being under his wing, then I think Perry will find a way to get him out of there.
And my last question about the Shy. Does it bother you at all? I've done some recap videos on it and whatnot, and sometimes, man, between Ronnie and Brandon and maybe Emmett to an extent at times, do you get tired of those brothers struggling so much, especially Ronnie?
Well, you know what? That's the real. Like, especially like, and that's just in life, period. When you decide to go the right route and do the right things and everything, then that's when it might seem harder at the moment, especially in the beginning. That's when it might seem real hard. You know what I mean? So that's just the truth right there. That's the struggle is real.
Okay. All right. Well, I just like I said, I had to check in with you on it this. Oh, well, before we do move on from it, what's your thoughts on Brandon Mitchell, who plays? Jason Mitchell, who plays Brandon. He won't be returning next year due to some inappropriate behavior that caused the showrunner or the creator Lena Waithe to fire him from the show, basically.
Which one is Brandon again? The one that played Eazy-E, right?
Yeah, the one who runs the food truck. He won't be returning next year.
Yeah. Oh wow, he is definitely a good actor and everything. I actually like him, so I mean that's unfortunate that he won't be returning.
Yeah, he was bugging out a little bit, and obviously since this happened in the middle, at the end of last year, at the end of shooting this season was when the situation came up. They weren't able to do anything to get him off of the show or to transition him off the show, on camera. So it'll kind of be interesting to see what they do next year. Do they replace him? Or, does he get killed somehow or something?
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. Probably he's going to get killed or probably get locked up for a long time for messing with because they trying to make it seem like now that Mr. Perry is like kind of setting him up and the police investigating him and everything. So he might get indicted or killed or something like that. I could see that.
All right. Lastly, before we get into the boxing talk, man, I know last year when we were talking a couple times and you had the opportunity to actually fight out west, and you mentioned that you were pretty fond of the Golden State Warriors, man. So what'd you think about them? It appears that we might be at the end of a fantastic reign.
Oh yeah, well always give credit to the team that earned it. You know what I mean? Raptors earned their victory. And they worked hard, so it was their time, and everybody get their time, and it's about what you do in the situation.
Were you shocked? Do you think even at full strength, do you think this was maybe a 4 or 5 game series or something at a minimum for Golden State, or do you think Toronto was just a team that kind of figured itself out on the way to this run, and it would have been a 7-game series either way?
I can't take nothing away from Toronto. I mean, with them being fully healthy and everything, I can't take nothing away from
Toronto. I mean, they did. They played good. They played hard. They wanted it. So I mean, we could say, oh, if the Golden State was fully healthy and everything, then they would have won, or they would have swept them. Or I mean, you could say that, but you don't know it. You know, so they wanted it and they won and they deserve it.
Do you think what man, it's kind of difficult with the injuries that they have. But if they do get Klay Thompson, if they do keep him and bring him back, maybe, you know, Kevin Durant isn't in the picture. But do you think between Klay, maybe Iguodala, and we see what else happens, do you think maybe they can still be a playoff team?
Of course, they won a championship without Durant before, so I'm sure they can do it again.
All right. Well, man, let's get ready to get into some of this boxing, man. What's your thoughts, or do you have any familiarity with Jessica McCaskill, man? I mean, I've been pretty fond of sis since back in October. I believe you were at the fight that night in Chicago when she won her first title. About a month ago, she was able to become a unified champion. You know, is that inspirational for you, or are you familiar with her background and getting prepared for all of this?
Oh yeah, you know, like I'm definitely happy for you know, Jessica for you know, winning the title, not only for what she's doing for you know, Chicago, but women's boxing. So it's definitely a good thing for both, and definitely give an outlet to, you know, women's boxing and the women also in Chicago that want to go that route in boxing, to give them you know, a path.
And I see you from time to time making critiques or, you know, just tweeting some observation in fights and everything. Any thoughts on McCaskill going forward? I mean, I personally, I wish she would. I wish her defense was. I wish she would stop taking so many shots as cleanly. Do you think her defense is something that she might need to clean up? Because she has all the heart in the world.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I feel like no fighter is perfect. You know, that's something for her and her team to discuss and definitely work on. I mean, she got a you know, team in that corner and Rick Ramos and everything. So that's something for them to sit back, look at the tapes, and, you know, they make their decision on that, and you know, eventually you know, get better and just, you know, push forward.
I will say I have heard Rick mention some of these things, and you know, coaching in the corner. I have heard him giving her some of the instructions, you know, on cleaning up some of that stuff. But she's a hard charger, man. I mean, she seems to just you know, go attack. So we'll see what happens. Would you like her chances in a rematch with Katie Taylor?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that she'll like that fight, and that'd be a good fight, you know, for the fans and also women boxing, because Katie Taylor just, you know, unified all the belts in her division and put on a good fight on the zone against the German girl she fought. So I'm sure that Jessica will want that, and they'll definitely put on a great fight for the fans again.
Also in Chicago boxing, we have Mike Lee getting his shot against Caleb Plant for a title for Caleb Plant. So I believe he has the IBF title at super middleweight. You give Mike any shot in that one, man?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like I don't even consider Mike Lee a boxer, and definitely not a Chicago boxer. I feel like Caleb Plant might knock him out.
I was gonna add that I'm sure you guys are from the opposite side of the tracks and whatnot, but you know, he's from the area, so I just thought I would ask. It just seems...
No, I don't even know. I don't know nothing about that brother. I don't know where he's from in Chicago. I thought he was like some type of like politician or something like that, like him and his dad. And I don't know what they got going on.
Okay. Anybody else to watch for in Chicago, man? I mean, and I didn't get a chance. I forgot to even ask you about you used to train with Adrian Granados when you were at was it Gordon Park? Is that what it was called?
Garfield.
Garfield. I'm sorry. But you guys were training, you know, alongside one another and everything. I didn't get a chance to ask you about his fight with Danny Garcia before it happened, man. But were you kind of shocked at his outing in that one?
No, I mean, I wasn't shocked. Danny Garcia is a huge puncher, and he's a good fighter. I mean, he only got losses to Sean Porter and Keith Thurman, and then both of those guys barely won against him. So I mean, he's at the top level for a reason. And I don't. Adrian is one of those guys that's too tough. You know what I mean? And that can only get you so far. You know, definitely being from Chicago, being too tough to either get you in the grave, and in the boxing ring, it could definitely get you hurt. So yeah, I feel like you're one of those too tough guys that need more, you know, skill and toughness.
Yeah, I thought I was a little shocked that he didn't get his offense going a little bit better that night, but he took some big shots early, and I think it just kind of he wasn't able to regroup to kind of give himself a chance over the next few rounds.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, that was a bad fight. Really, Adrian is not a 147 pounder. He's really a 140 pounder. You know, so I don't know why he keep getting these bad fights at 140. Well, I do know, you know, that it's, I guess, managerial reasons or whatever. Yeah, you know, a big payday, but it's like, you know what I mean, what's more important, you know, money or his life, you know? So that's their problem, and that's something that him and his team, you know, got to deal with, and, you know, hopefully he gets the right fights and the right opportunities.
Cool. I've been watching, you know, a lot of social media talk and, you know, YouTube videos and whatnot, and just checking out what the consensus is, I guess, on what happened with Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz. I kind of like to get the takes of fighters on it because you guys know what Joshua is going through and everything. So can I get your thoughts on how you could see, you know, what you would be looking for if that rematch is made and these guys get back in the ring at the end of the year?
I just think that he wasn't mentally. I mean, I don't know what problems he dealt with in camp, or really, I mean, we really don't know what he dealt with in camp or what he dealt with. You know what I mean? Minutes leading up before the fight, or hours leading up before the fight, or the day before the fight. So we really don't know what he dealt with. But just it seemed to me, from my aspect, that he wasn't mentally right. It's just he wasn't mentally right at all coming in that fight. And not taking anything for Andy Ruiz, because he definitely earned the opportunity and he earned everything that's coming his way right now. So I don't know. I just feel like he wasn't in it mentally.
Do you think it's enough there? You know, does his track record suggest enough to think that whether they fight in the UK or back in New York or somewhere here in North America, do you think it's enough? You've seen enough from the guy to this point that the rematch isn't an open and closed case that he just can't compete with Ruiz?
I mean, that's something we will find out when they fight again. And I mean, if he's not right mentally, it don't matter where they fight at. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be. I mean, that's what everybody's gonna be tuned in and looking for to see come that fight day when they fight again.
Got you. All right, man. Let's get into this fight that's coming up, or talk some bantamweight business. But before that, you know, one of the things on this fight coming up July 3rd in Newark, New Jersey, at the Prudential Center. You're in the co-main against Nikolai Potapov and Shakur Stevenson in the main event. I heard there was some rumblings and grumblings that his opponent could change, but right now I can't remember dude's name, but. The interesting note here I thought was, you know, just watching you guys on social media is that your partner in crime, Nathaniel Gallimore, would be making it back to the ring. So speaking of guys who kind of, you know, have to go out here and kind of redefine themselves and everything, what have you seen with Nate, you know, as you guys are preparing for this date?
Well, like I said, I don't want to say too much, because I know I don't want to say too much of this game plan and everything, but what I can say is, this is the best I ever seen Nathaniel look in his whole career of boxing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everything happened for a reason. And this time that he had not in the ring, you know, just perfecting his craft and also working with John Pullman. I mean, I've seen sparring sessions. I've seen him do so much. This is the best I've ever seen the brother. So I just can't wait for him to go out there and show the world what he's been working on all this time. And the reason, you know, everything happened for a reason. And, you know, it's just time to climb back to the top.
And he'll be back that night fighting at 154 super welterweight?
Yes.
Okay. All right. For anybody out there in the chat, I see a couple of people have joined in. If you do have any questions that you want to get out there for Joshua Greer Jr. Just chat them up there, and I'll work those in. I only got a few more questions left myself, so if you have anything that you want to ask about, go ahead and hit that in the chat, and I'll get to it. Man, looking at bantamweight, man. A lot of interesting cats here, man. I mean, and you're working yourself up, world ranked in all 4 sanctioning bodies, or in the rankings for all 4 sanctioning bodies. What's your outlook on the landscape of the division right now, man? I mean, we got some interesting cats in here with Luis Neri, Emmanuel Rodriguez. He was stopped by Inoue, but he's still a pretty good boxer. Now we have Guillermo Rigondeaux up here. Juan Carlos Payano was stopped by Inoue in the first round as well, but he's another pretty skillful guy out there. What's your thoughts on how this division is coming together for the next, 12, 18 months?
Honestly, brother, I'm not looking or worried about nobody but Nikolai Potapov, and I just know anybody that's put in front of me, I will beat.
Okay. Looking at Potapov, what's the general basic or the general scouting report on him? I mean, you guys are pretty familiar with one another. You were actually seeking this fight out last year or a year and a half ago or so. You guys were on the same card on Showtime up in Detroit when he took on Antonio Nieves, I believe. What's your general scouting report on the guy?
He's a very average fighter, and that's it. He's just an average fighter, and he do what he can.
Yeah, he look a little. He looked like a decent boxer, I guess, but he's pretty safety first. Like I said, up in that night up in Detroit against Antonio Nieves, it was some booing in the crowd because it just seemed to fight at the same speed the entire 8 or 10 rounds or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm. And also it was because, the fight I fought before, and after I put on that performance, it's hard to, come back after that. So, it wasn't really what the people wanted to see, but that was then. And like I said, man, I've been ready for these type of fights, and God give you things not when you want it, but when you're ready. So I'm ready, and I'm just ready to show this man that his level, and because I'm just steps ahead of him.
Got you. Ronald Finkley is in the chat. He said, Joshua Greer, how did you learn to be so mature, bro? I see greatness when you give interviews.
I learned to be more mature. I'm a product of my environment, and how I grew up and the way I grew up. It's really no time, or too many mistakes. Time to really be a kid, or you'll be left behind, or you'll be dead or something. So I learned how to grow up real fast. I always hung around older guys.
Got you. So with this camp, man, preparing for, like you said, a pretty seemingly basic fighter in Nikolai Potapov. That should give you the chance to work on a variety of different things. So what's something that's you're really seeing some maturity or some growth or improvement in your game?
Man, I just can't wait to fight July 13th. So I can guarantee this. It's going to be a dominant one-sided performance. It's going to be one of my best performances ever. Because at this point, I'm the best Joshua Greer Jr. I could be right now. And it's definitely, I can't wait to just show everybody what I've been working on. And I'm not going to say too much on it, but it's definitely going to be a dominant one-sided performance by me. I guarantee that.
Got you. When you saw Potapov's name, what was your reaction to that, to getting the call and it being Potapov as the guy? Like I said, you were looking for that fight a while ago. Now you get it. And like you said, it is what it is in terms of the matchup between you guys. But, was it any motivation in that, or, how do you approach the fight?
Bro, I'm always motivated. Every time I step in that ring, it's my most important fight to me. I'm always motivated. When I saw his game, it's just like, okay, yeah, I'm ready to bring the pillow out again. You know what I mean? Like, let's do it, So I said, my coach said yes right away, because really those things go through Brad and Bruce. They talk to my coach, and I let them he talk to them, and they do their thing. And once he tell me it's on, it's on.
Got you. I mean, because obviously, man, like you said, you had the bigger performance the night, back, whatever that was, 2016. Now you've had a few more, appearances and co-main event, in Hinckley, Minnesota. You've had your, you're on a string of 7 knockouts and everything. So, yeah, it just seems like there's some levels in between you guys. So, but like I said, like you just said, I know you stay focused, man. So I definitely don't see this being any kind of a trap fight or anything for yourself.
No, not at all. And and I don't come in there, looking for a knockout. It's just always seems to happen. But I come in there to win. I come in there to win, and I come in there to win very, dominant, and work my craft and be the best I can be. So at the end of the day, when a knockout come, it come. But I definitely just come to win dominant in a dominant performance.
How's it feel to be going in here with on this being a co-main with the fighter like Shakur Stevenson, who's raising a lot of eyebrows, opening some eyes. He's a guy that was questioned, a year ago on what he would be. Now, we're seeing some signs of greatness. But you guys, I see you two, in the crowd at some different fights and whatnot. What's the relationship that's building between you two?
Oh, man, most definitely Shakur. That's my partner. We both signed with Jay Prince. We both been Antonio in it. So, we got a lot of things in common. And, he's just a real good guy, humble guy, smart guy, And I like, I like being around him, and it's, the feeling is mutual. He's just a good guy and a good homie to me.
Now, you just mentioned in answering Ronald Finkley's question and speaking on your own maturity and trying to be at the right place at the right time and whatnot. Stevenson did have an incident down here that came up 6 months ago that, was pretty publicized. It wasn't a good look for him. Like I said, we've talked a couple of times, and you've always been very mindful of, how you present yourself and what's the long game for yourself. Did you guys have any or share any thoughts? Because I've heard a lot of people kind of write the guy off, and I'm of the opinion, what is he, 21, 22? It was a bad night.
21.
21. It was a bad night, and I think it's time, it's time for the guy to grow from it.
Man, listen. If that brother is 21 years old, I think he's about to turn 22 in a couple weeks or whatever, and the spotlight been on him since, since he turned pro, since the amateurs, the spotlight been on him. Like, if the spotlight was on us when we were 21 and we got caught doing the things we did, then we all probably be in some trouble. Either back when I was 21, if the spotlight was on me when I was 21, they monitoring everything I do and everything I do, hit the internet and everything, man, brother, I probably wouldn't be here right now. I'd probably be in jail or something. So at the end of the day, we all make mistakes. We all human. He handled the situation good. He learned from it, and he continued to, do what he do best, go in there and win.
Right. Do you think, like you said, more W's, coming across well in the post-fight interviews and being genuine and keep doing what he's doing? Do you think that's kind of the start to put some distance in between that incident and just continue on with what he set out to do with this thing?
No, that's already done. Like I said, he already learned from that. He already made the adjustments to not fall in that situation again. He got a good team around him. Jay Prince, Andre Ward, So, and Antonio Leonard also. So, he and his grandfather, which is a great guy. He trust me. He learned from it, and it was just, a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody is perfect, and I'm sure he learned from it. And I could definitely doubt that if that situation ever happened again.
Got you. And a few fighters on Top Rank have gotten homecoming events of late. Some people have even had a couple of fights in their home cities. What do you think it'll take for you to secure an opportunity for yourself in the Windy City?
Oh, it'll happen. It'll definitely happen. It's definitely gonna happen. I ain't gonna speak too much on it, but it's definitely gonna happen.
Could you, as a Chicagoan and doing everything that you've done, man? I mean, what would be, what would be your ideal location when that happens?
UIC. I would like it at UIC.
Okay.
Because I've seen them have an event there before for Michael Conlon or whatever, to try to bring, because there was the highest Irish population, but you can't bring a Michael Conlon to Chicago thinking, you gonna pack the place. But, everything been talked about, and I would definitely love to fight at UIC.
Okay. All right, man. Anybody that's in the chat, I'm not gonna hold up Josh too much longer. So if you do have any questions that you like me to ask, please go ahead and chat those, put those in the chat, and I'll get them out there to Josh real quick. Like I said, it's a Friday night. It's a birthday weekend for you, man. So you in the city, La La Land. Anything planned, man, or is it too close to the fight?
Absolutely nothing, brother. Like I made this when I first got in this game. I made the sacrifices to be a champion, and I'm not gonna stop now. So at the end of the day, I'm fortunate and blessed enough to I could celebrate my birthday any day. You know what I mean? It's gonna feel even better after I win July 13th. I can celebrate my birthday and the win together. So I'm 100% locked in and I'm focused.
Got you. That's what I want to hear. That's what I was hearing 2 years ago, or a year ago. So I'm glad to hear that. This fight now, this is very important, man, because this is an IBF eliminator. So obviously with the experience with Gallimore and with Nate Gallimore and Julian Williams in their IBF eliminator. It took a year or something, whatever, for Julian Williams to be able to use that mandatory status. I know you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself, but if you get this victory July 13th, would you be able to wait it out and be patient, maintain your patience?
That's something. After I get the win, that's something that me and my team, Jay Prince, Antonio, and Top Rank and Bob, that's something that we sit and talk about, and we go from there. You know what I mean? But as far as right now, I'm just looking to win come July 13th.
Got you. You ever been you ever fought that far east, Newark, New York area? You had any bouts over in that area, in that region yet?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Nope.
All right, man. Well, anything else going on in Pullman's gym or in the camp, man? Who are you? Who's helping you get prepared for this one? It's an important fight. Oh
yeah, we definitely we having great sparring, guys all over. I mean, we're in LA. I mean, it's some of the best sparring in the world, especially for a guy my size. You know what I mean? So we've been having great sparring, and I'm also teammates with Shakur Stevenson, King Tug, you know what I mean? So we've been having a great sparring, and me and John been working on so much, and I just can't wait to display it come July 13th, because, I'm so excited to even display it. And like I said, it's going to be my best performance ever to date. This will be my best, not ever, but my best performance to date. July 13th, my best performance to date, it will be.
Gotcha. We got a big one this weekend with some of the businesses out there in the heavyweight division, the renewed buzz for that division. Tyson Fury, not the ideal opponent for some of us. We might have been clamoring for the rematch with Wilder, but it is what it is with this Tom Schwartz guy. He's part of Top Rank or affiliated with Top Rank and ESPN Boxing. Any thoughts on that, or will you be attending this fight, or what are you looking forward to in this bout?
Like I said, man, I'm locked in, man. You know what I mean? Tyson Fury, I'm sure he's gonna handle his business, and I gotta handle my business. So I'm locked in right now, and I gotta do what I gotta do. And I think Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight as far as skillfully and everything right now. And I feel like Tyson Fury just gotta work his craft and get that brother a boxing lesson.
Got you. All right, well, look, hey, chat, I thank everybody that's tuned in to this point, man. If you do have any questions, don't be shy. You can, I'm getting ready to cut him loose because I know he has stuff to do. If you got any particular question you'd like me to ask, now's the time to put it up there. That's pretty much it. Now I know last year, man, I thought you had the opportunity to get to NHL game with the Blackhawks. I thought you did something with one of the baseball teams or whatnot. We kind of hitting that situation in the year after the finals is up, man, where it gets pretty dry and uneventful until football picks up. But are you keeping an eye on any other Chicago teams at this point?
Most definitely. I'm hearing that the Bears is putting a good team together for this up and coming season that they're about to do. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And also still talk to some of the players from he's not a player for the Blackhawks anymore. He plays for, I think, that LA team or whatever. But I still talk to some of those guys through social media and everything. So like I said, man, they doing their thing, and I'm looking to, keep doing my thing for the city, most definitely, and putting on for the city as much as I can.
All right. And Ronald Finkley just said, man, great boxing interview. Appreciate that, sir. And he said, you're a focused star, man. So like I said, I appreciate you, getting with me and responding to my text messages and whatnot. Like I said, I'm
no problem.
Always keeping an eye on you, man. And I just wanted to get you in here before you get super, super locked in and start counting down and making your way east for the big night. So, I'm pulling for you, man. I'm leaving the door open, and I might even try to come check this one out in person. So if I can
that'd be great, man. It'd be an honor.
Thank you. All right, man. Well, I'm going to let you get on out of here, man. Thanks for your time. And, best of luck, making it through the last few weeks of camp.
Most definitely, man. I appreciate you and your time, and thanks for having me, brother.
All right, man. Take care.
You too.
All right, man. I really appreciate everybody that tuned in. Whether you responded to the links or you just saw the live out there in YouTube, the scheduled show and whatnot. Something I'm trying to work on, every Friday and Saturday, depending on what goes on throughout the week. We're trying to get people in. I'm just looking forward to bringing in, fighters and letting them talk for themselves. I do my thing, but I'll be honest with you, even though I talk as much as I do, it's really not about me. So I'm really here to just extend the conversation on boxing, pretty much. So I'm honored, I'm grateful when these fighters do give me the time of day and chop it up with me a little bit and help me with my program. So if I had my druthers, I'd just write all the time. But I guess I do my podcast too. I do kind of enjoy doing the podcast. I didn't get one together this week. I was supposed to speak with Jamel Herring last night, and I guess maybe he got caught up in that game. Actually, he's out in Vegas for the fight tomorrow. So maybe he just got held up in the airport or something, and we did not get a chance to chop it up. So that's that. I don't really have much else to say about the fights this weekend. I'm gonna be honest, man. This Fury fight, I'm trying to be interested in it, but and I've already said, what was that, last week? I had the brother from Toledo, Ohio. I agree, Ronald Finke. I guess that's where I could have went, is with the Dorticos and Tabiti fight. You're right. That's what I'm watching this weekend, to be honest with you. That's a rough one. I mean, Dorticos has good size on Tabiti. I've only seen Tabiti a handful of times. I don't know. I get to sit back and watch this one just like every other fan. So, it's exciting to check that one out. See what my man does over in, what is that, Latvia or something is where he's at. So it's make or break time for that brother. I think he really needs to go on and deliver and show us what he is or what he isn't. But the Galahad and Warrington, I'm going to check that one out too. I don't really have much of an opinion on that one. I've seen Galahad and Warrington in separate fights before. I'm just gonna be a fan on that one as well. I was trying to think what else was. But last week I had the brother stateside. I am pretty interested in checking out this Albert Bell fight against Andy Vincenz. What are they? Super featherweights, I believe. That's gonna be on ESPN 2 tomorrow night. Yeah, Finkley, I agree, man. I'm pulling for Tabiti, man. I mean, I could have asked Greer about him. Now that I thought about it, he's also originally from Chicago. I thought I had that on my notes, but anyway, I dropped the ball on that. But yeah, I like Tabiti's game, man. He's trained in part by Mayweather Sr. and whatnot. Seems to be a workout warrior, a gym rat. He's made it this far in that tournament. And, he has a good chance to, we've seen Dortico stopped. I think he might be an overall better boxer than Dorticos, who will probably try to impose his will at some point and, try to go ahead and stop Tabiti. If Tabiti's not as active as we'd like him to be, show us more offense, maybe he could have some problems later in that fight. And Dorticos also, it makes him pretty deadly because he's already been in this position. And with those belts all being out there, it's a chance for, it's a second chance, a second opportunity. And we saw what Andy Ruiz was able to do with his second opportunity. So he's definitely in against a tough opponent. He's far from home. That's a tough one. Like I said, you're right. That's the best fight of the weekend, in my opinion. I'm very anxious to see that one. And, we focus a lot on these big events, the pay-per-view fights, the marquee bouts and everything. But this fight right here with Dorticos and Tabiti, it's one of those mid-level fights that fills up the calendar. And, it's a chance there for it to really deliver some real fireworks. So that's definitely one to keep an eye on. Well, look, man, it's Friday night. I ain't got a whole lot going on, but I'm going to go up here and do a couple of things. Like I said, thanks for tuning in. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you're not. Like I said, this is what I'll be trying to do here every Friday and Saturday. I don't know if it'll be Friday night all the time. It could be Saturday morning. But, you hit that notification button, you'll know when I'm on here cooking. So we'll go with that. That's about it, man. I'm not even going to try to stretch this out. Y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy all the action. I may do a live stream tomorrow night after the fights conclude. I may jump on here and talk for a minute, depending on what we see. Maybe not. So until then, like I always in this thing, man, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And since we getting back together here locally in the city of Dayton, Ohio, recovering from these tornadoes, I'm going to get out of here with one of my favorite local artists. His name is Sleeko Got Bars. The song is called No Pain, No Gain. He's got a new project coming out, I believe, in the next week and a half. A couple boxing references in this track. So I'm keep pushing it and supporting the brother. But let me get on out of here. Peace.
Everybody's on the land. I wanna, I'm a god in my land. The devil up on me, I'm watching the flame. you know. Didn't have a pot to piss, and now my pot is pissing. From bare wrist to the care wrist, like a plot from Disney. I mean, come on, man, you gotta give me credit. I bet if you're listening, I definitely got your interest. This ain't no hobby, no lobby, we'll find this flow on Pinterest. I mean, my